Hi and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Supergrads. I'm back with another session, guys. Another session on most repeated questions. And as I said yesterday, एक session कल था that was 20 mixed questions. Mixed practice is something that is super important. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि आप टॉपिक वाइज प्रैक्टिस करते हो, आपको पता होता है कि किस टॉपिक रिलेटेड एरर होने वाला है. बट व्हेन वी हैव दिस मिक्स्ड प्रैक्टिस इट बिकम्स इंटरेस्टिंग. आपका असली टेस्ट यहाँ पर होता है. So here I am with the second session on mixed practice. 20 questions from different topics of grammar, different types of vocabulary can also be there. So I hope all my students are ready. Let's begin, students, with the first question for today's session. And here it is. As I said yesterday, इंग्लिश में सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट ABCD होता है, बट ABCD के बाद ऐसी क्या चीज है जो सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड दैट इज verbs. Students, you can never undermine the importance of verbs. Verbs हमेशा आपको help करते हैं एग्जाम में. Having good knowledge of verbs really helps in all sorts of questions of error detection, and this is again one of those questions. So a few eyewitnesses said that the earth shaked during the earthquake. Now this is a question from, of course, verbs and verb forms. So the verb shake, its second form is shook and third form is also shook. So there is no such form as shaked. So the correct verb, the correct replacement here should be shook, students. Earthquake, the earth shook and not shaked. There's nothing like shake, the students. Shook is the correct verb form. So ABCD के बाद सबसे ज़्यादा important क्या है? I think ये बात आप समझ चुके हैं. It is knowing the different forms of verbs along with their usage. So that was your first question for today's session. I hope verb form आप समझ गए हो. Verbs पे work कैसे करना है, इस चीज की clarity आपको मिलते जा रही है साथ के साथ. Here is our second question, students. The news of him getting selected in the UPSC exam has spreaded rapidly. Again, students, if I can give you a hint, this is again based on verbs and verb forms. Verbs and verb forms. So yesterday we had a discussion around the verb shed, and I said आपके पास एक list compile होना चाहिए, list of verbs that have the same first, second and third form. तो मैंने आपको कुछ verbs बताए थे. Verbs like shed, verbs like cut, put, cost, cast, and spread is also one of, spread is again in the same category of verb, students, जिसका first, second and third form same होता है, जिसका first, second and third form same होता है. So there is no such thing. The news of him getting selected, it didn't spread it like, it spread like. Spread irrespective of whether you're choosing the first form, the second form or the third one, क्योंकि तीनों same है. So these were our first two questions, students, based on verb forms. जितना importance दूं, जितना verb forms के बारे में बात करूं, उतना कम है. Here is our next question, students. Here is our next question for today's discussion. These companies have been asked to furnish their financial details and information about its board members. Which grammar topic do you think is involved here? कौन से grammar topic से error आपको यहाँ पे दिख रहा है, students? कौन से grammar topic से error आपको दिख रहा है? The companies, these companies, now these are plural subject और यहाँ पर लिखा हुआ their financial details. That means we need a possessive adjective जो plural subjects के लिए use करते हैं. We use its for singular subject, students. यहाँ पर its लिखा हुआ है, its board members नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be their board members, because these companies, plural subjects take plural verbs and plural adjectives as well. So for that reason, there was error in part C of the sentence. There was error in part C of this sentence, and that was your question. Let's move to the next question, students. Private sector lender, the IndusInd Bank has entered into a co-lending partnership with Kochi-based gold loan firm Indel Money. कौन सा ग्रामर का टॉपिक है जो आपको परेशान कर रहा है? कौन सा ग्रामर का टॉपिक है जो आपको लगता है यहाँ पर जिसको करेक्टली फॉलो नहीं किया गया है? कौन सा वो ग्रामर का रूल है? Let's see if you people can answer this question, students. So enter plus into, students, we never use entered plus into. Enter plus in or into, this is never used. Enter plus in or into is never used. Why? Because it makes the sentence superfluous. कल भी हमने एक क्वेश्चन किया था ऐसा, that was I think it was related to withdrawing back something. Withdraw itself means किसी चीज को आप वापस ले रहे हो. So with withdraw you never use back. Similarly, when you say I am entering, so of course you are entering into a place or in a place. So with enter you never use in or into. That is grammatically incorrect. That makes the sentence superfluous, and bacha bati, superfluous expressions are grammatically incorrect. So that was your question. Moving on to another question, another mixed practice question, students. This one is a little easy and I expect कि ये आप correct answer करेंगे. Fueled by easy money, China is undergoing a housing boom in the year 2017. In which year are we talking about this housing boom? We are talking about this in 2025. So अगर कोई चीज 2017 में हुआ, what do you think? Isn't it in the past, students? क्या ये past में नहीं? क्या ये past में नहीं? Of course है. So it cannot be China is undergoing a housing boom. It should be China was undergoing a housing boom. Was would be correct. So part B was the one that had the grammatical error. Part B was the one that had the grammatical error. Basic अगर आप बोलोगे सर कौन सा topic? So the topic here is tenses. Topic here is tenses. Let's move to the next question then. Plastic bags are a major cause of environmental pollution. Plastic as a substance is biodegradable and thus it remains in the environment for hundreds of years, polluting it immensely. Word usage, या अगर मैं बोलूं गलत नाउन यूज हो गया है, यहाँ पर गलत नाउन यूज हो गया, and that is what has led to the error. Plastic bags are a major cause of environmental pollution. Plastic as a substance is biodegradable. सच में अगर प्लास्टिक बायोडिग्रेडेबल होता तो ये इतनी प्रॉब्लम जो वर्ल्ड में हो रही है ना, ये होती ही नहीं, ये होती ही नहीं स्टूडेंट्स. प्लास्टिक इज नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल, वो नहीं डिग्रेड करता है, इसीलिए प्लास्टिक यूज पर हम इतना डिस्कशन और इतना खर्चा करते हैं. सो प्लास्टिक एज अ सब्सटेंस इज नॉन बायोडिग्रेडेबल स्टूडेंट्स. Plastic as a substance is non-biodegradable. Non-biodegradable. So once again, there was error in part B of this sentence. We are done with this question, guys. Let's move to the next one. It's about feminism, and again, you should not focus on whether it is about feminism, whether it is about plastic bags, whether it is about animals or humans. All you need to do is think of grammatical errors. Are all the grammar rules followed in this sentence? If not, क्या करना चाहिए ये आपको आइडेंटिफाई करना है. Feminism is a social and political movement that advocate for the right of women on the ground of equality of sexes. Now this is from the topic subject verb agreement. This is from one of the most popular topic जहां पर हमेशा question होते हैं. सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट एंड सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट में सिंपल रूल है यार, सिंगुलर सब्जेक्ट टेक सिंगुलर वर्ब, प्लूरल सब्जेक्ट take plural verb. So feminism is a singular subject that should take a singular verb, advocates. Advocates is the singular verb. Noun को plural singular कैसे करते हैं? With nouns when we add ses it becomes plural. But the opposite of it happens when we do it with the verb. वर्ब के साथ एस लगाते हो सो इट बिकम्स सिंगुलर, इसीलिए एडवोकेट के साथ एस लगाया and it becomes singular. Now this sentence is grammatically and logically correct. That was your question, students. Let's quickly move to question number 8. The old mansion along with its furniture was put for auction. The old mansion along with its furniture. So when two subjects are joined by along with, the verb must agree with the first subject. ये singular subject है, ये singular verb है. That means the sentence is free from any grammatical errors, students. Yes, आपको सिर्फ करेक्ट तरीका पता होना चाहिए. You should not try to search for the error. आपको रूल पता था कि along with होता है, we have to look at the first subject singular है, verb singular है, that means the sentence is free from any error. कोई error नहीं है students यहाँ पर, ठीक है. So there can be such questions in the exam as well जहाँ पर शायद कोई भी error ना हो, ठीक है. Here is our next question. Reliance Digital deals out electronic products. Now there are certain verbs, students. With deal, we use deal in and we use deal with as well. Deal with, dealing with someone, somebody, dealing with someone or somebody. And deal in, जिस चीज का आप एक्सचेंज करते हो, एक्सचेंज ऑफ गुड्स, जिस चीज का आप एक्सचेंज करते हो. सो deals in electronic products, deals in the goods that it uses for exchange. Of course जो चीज वो सेल कर रहा है, that is where we use deal in. And deal with a person, a country, a company, someone, somebody, वहां पर आप deal with use करते हो. So verbs के साथ there is this peculiarity कि कभी कोई सा preposition use होगा तो different meaning है, कभी दूसरा preposition use होगा तो different meaning है, ठीक है. So that was your question, students. Here is another question. Here is another question, guys. It was a high-profile encounter, but between the two teams, but the winning team chicken away at the last moment. Chicken away is incorrect. The correct phrasal verb is chicken out. Chicken out means to withdraw. To withdraw because of fear. To withdraw because of fear. So chicken away nahi hoga, it should be chicken out. Chicken out, not chicken away. Chicken away is incorrect. Chicken out means last moment पे आप withdraw कर रहे हो because आपको डर लग रहा है, आपको डर लग रहा है. So that was your question, students. And if you people want कि यार ये score चाहिए मुझे 1000 out of 1000, of course आप ला सकते हो, but without proper strategy, I think it's quite difficult. Strategy, the keyword here is strategy, students. There are still a lot of students जिन्हें लगता है कि यार CUET बड़ा easy exam है, English हो जाएगा, we are studying in good schools. I agree with you people, but academic English, competitive exam का English, these are two different things, students. So if you want to get this perfect score of 1000 out of 1000. You should book a one-to-one session with our expert mentors where you get career counseling, section-wise syllabus breakdown, and smart preparation strategy. The word strategy is very important. Correct strategy होगा, आप perfect score कर पाओगे, and of course you'll get into your dream colleges. Next question, students. Next question. Next question. When the Taliban seized power, the operator of the only women's shelter in the northern Afghan city fled away. Now, flee is a verb. Flee means to run away. The other forms of flee are fled and fled. And with flee, you never use away. Flee plus away is incorrect because flee itself means to run away after committing a crime. So, isliye the use of away here was incorrect. So, there was error in part C of the sentence. Let's move to the next question, students. Next question. Next question, students. Moral stories for kids are entertaining, but don't take this amusing little anecdotes for granted. Now, क्योंकि यहाँ पर moral stories लिखा हुआ है ना, it's plural, so this has to be plural as well. The adjective, the demonstrative adjective also has to be plural. Subject plural है, verb भी plural, adjectives भी plural. So don't take these little anecdotes for granted. अब then again आगे क्या लिखा है मैं उसको रीड करने नहीं जाऊंगा. मैं एरर नहीं ढूंढ रहा था, मैं सिर्फ सेंटेंस रीड कर रहा था. जहां पर सेंटेंस रीड कर रहा था विथ ऑल द ग्रामर रूल्स इन माय माइंड. जहां पर मुझे एरर दिखा मैं वहां रुका, एरर करेक्शन किया, एंड नाउ देयर इज नो पॉइंट रीडिंग दिस सेंटेंस कि आगे यहां पर क्या कहानी लिखा हुआ है. इट्स नॉट समथिंग दैट बॉदर्स मी नाउ. हियर इज द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. Now this is again based on tenses and it is based on the usage of simple present tense. This is based on simple present tense, and what happens in simple present tense, students? Running commentary, जो live commentary होती है ना, वो हमेशा simple present tense में ही होती है. So Ronaldo dribbles the ball, dribbles and passes the ball to Neymar, who twists, turns and dodges the defender. Dodges. जब सारे verbs present tense के हैं, so dodged cannot be correct, students. Dodges would be the correct verb here. Moving on to the next question, students, and this is something from conjunctions, something very important from conjunctions. Something very important from conjunction. Why do I say that it's very important? Because NTA ने अभी तक preposition पे questions पूछे हैं, conjunction पे question नहीं पूछे. And knowing NTA so well, knowing NTA being so unpredictable, there can be questions of conjunctions in the upcoming year. There can be questions of conjunction. So no sooner did she reach the railway station, no sooner के साथ there's a pair that with no sooner we always use than. THAN than. There will be questions जहाँ पर THEN लिखा है. That is also incorrect. With no sooner we use THAN than, students. Neither of his 4 sons came to see him when he was admitted in the hospital. Now you should understand, none is used when we are choosing 0 out of more than 2, and neither is choosing 0 out of 2. Neither is when you have 2 options and you're not choosing option A, not choosing option B, that in that case you use neither. But when you have more than 2 options, you use none. So यहाँ पे 4 sons deliberately लिखा हुआ है, so it should be none of his 4 sons. none of his 4 sons. That is where the error was. पार्ट ए में एरर था, एरर डिटेक्शन किया, एरर करेक्शन किया एंड अपने ड्रीम कॉलेज की तरफ 2 कदम भी बढ़ा दिए. Let's quickly move to the next question, students. Phrase preposition related error है यहाँ पे. Phrase preposition important है of course exam point of view से. Mirabai Chanu won a silver medal at the Tokyo Olympics because dint of. This is incorrect. Phrase होता है by dint of. By dint of means due to, or you could say because of. So the phrase was incorrect in this question. इसीलिए part B में error था and दोनों काम error detection, error correction. We are done with the 2 things. Let's move to the next question, students. The next question. The train will not leave the platform until the guard will blow the whistle. Now this is something that we call future conditional. This is something that we call future conditional. तो future conditional में क्या होता है? When there are 2 actions of the future taking place one after the other. So जो conditional part है वहां पर आप will use नहीं करते हो. Train will not leave the platform. This is correct. Until the guard blows the whistle. यहाँ पे will नहीं आएगा. ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म से निकलेगी, ये एक्शन डिपेंड कर रहा है किस चीज पे, जब तक गार्ड विसल ब्लो नहीं करेगा. So guard blowing the whistle is the conditional part and the train leaving the platform is the conditional part, is the dependent part rather. So dependent part में will हो सकता है but conditional part में will use नहीं होता है कभी भी. ठीक है. And that brings us to the last question of today's discussion. Delhi Golf Club has a legacy of producing international champions and some of their illustrious names. Now hold on. Their illustrious names. Delhi Golf Club तो singular subject है ना. So it should not be their illustrious name. It should be its. Its. मुझे यहाँ पर चाहिए था singular के लिए possessive adjective. Singular possessive adjectives. So some of its illustrious names will be part. So that was all, students. That was all for today's discussion around grammar mix back 2. Come this December, I'll be coming up with topic wise sessions जहां पर मैं आपको एक एक टॉपिक के subtle चीजें, बेसिक चीजें बताऊंगा and of course a quiz will follow that. वो quiz कैसे होगा उसके लिए you have to stay tuned and I'll see you guys in the next week now. Thank you so much. Bye everyone.